Welcome back to another episode of Ride Like a Local. For the next 3 episodes, we're going to be looking at the future of motorcycling, and I'm going to be interviewing young riders from little ones to millennials. In the heart of the Canadian Badlands is Drumheller, runner-up community in Canada's most rider-friendly community contest 2017. We invite you to come experience the hospitality, drink in the views of one of Canada's most unique and haunting landscapes, Drumheller, Alberta. Community Futures Grand Prairie and Region can assist small business with financing, training, and advisory services. We're here to help small business in rural Alberta. I'm at the Calgary Motorcycle Show being joined by a couple of members of the Lita's Motorcycle Club that's just recently formed here in Calgary. I'm being joined by the 2 co-founders, and we've got Erin standing right here beside me, and we've got Lauren. Now, the interesting thing about the Litas is they're a fairly new motorcycle club on the worldwide scene, and they've moved into Alberta with an Edmonton and a Calgary chapter. So let's find out what these young women love about motorcycling. So let's start with you, Erin. What is it about a motorcycle that turns your crank?
It's me time. It's me on my bike. It's my own thing where I'm not dependent on my spouse. It's the wind in my hair. It's time away. It's appreciating what's around me. In this day and age with social media and everything that we're doing in life, we tend to forget about the world around us.
That's a little deep. I'm not quite sure that I expected that. So me time, I love that answer.
I feel for me it's a time to be 100% present. It's a time you're not distracted by what's on your phone or what's going on around you or multitasking. You're just focused on the road and the experience, and you're using all different senses. I always notice your palate changes when you're on your motorbike. I love riding through the countryside and when you can smell the horses and then you turn and you know there's a body of water because the mist is in the air, and it's a totally freeing feeling to have the fresh air.
Well, freedom. Those all sound like reasons why I ride. So I'm curious, you're how old?
31.
And you, Lauren?
28.
So you guys are right in that same age group that I started riding back in the 80s. I was 26 when I got my first motorcycle license. I'd been riding earlier, but I actually got a license when I was 26. So my question to you is, who inspired you to want to ride?
Well, I grew up in a bike family, and my dad was a Harley guy at heart. Never really showed a big interest in doing it back home. I'm from Colorado. I'm a transplant. However, when I moved to Canada, my husband had a first bike, and I had an opportunity. He passed it along to me and said, go get your license. I said, all right. It's the best decision I've ever made.
I like that. A husband that encourages you, a family that gave you an inspiration, and voila. Again, sounds almost like my story.
I remember being on the back of my dad's bike, and I was probably about 16 years old, and I kept trying to look around him while he was riding. All I could see was his shoulders. So I was wiggling on the back seat, and he kept pulling over and telling me, stay still, you're shaking the bike and it's difficult to ride. And I just knew I needed my own bike because I wanted to be in control and I wanted the view.
See, now, these are all reasons why most of us ride. So the future of motorcycle riding, as far as that goes, looks like it could be in pretty good hands here. So the next thing that a lot of old school bikers do is we like to get together. And we like to make a difference and an impact in the communities we live in. Or at least that's most of us. So tell me, what kind of charitable work does the Litas do?
This is kind of the first year kind of kickoff for that, per se. We have a partnership with Calgary Harley Davidson to be doing events. I will also be doing some things with Lucid Moto this year, potentially Pro-Am and Adventure Honda. Lauren and I sell arts and crafts that we might like to make on our free time, and we're going to pick a different charity to donate our proceeds to each time. Like at the Calgary Motorcycle Show, we're donating our proceeds to Bikers for Autism.
That's a wonderful cause. What other causes are close to your hearts?
For me personally, anything to do with animals and women's shelters, I would love to see us go in the direction of being able to support a wide variety that isn't directly in the motorcycle community already.
So you need to get together with Krista Shields and the Litas out of Edmonton and the Ride for Mom, because they're looking to expand the Ride for Mom from Edmonton to Calgary. So there you go. There's potentially a nice connection for you there. So tell me, what kind of motorcycle do you ride?
I have a 2015 Harley Sportster Custom XL.
And how many kilometers on it?
9,000. I bought it brand new last year.
Perfect. And you?
I'm on a Harley Sportster Iron 883 with 10,000 kilometers.
And how long have you had it?
This one I've only had 2 years. I was first on a Kawasaki Ninja and came from Sport Bike World and just noticed a different style of riding at a different age and stage of what I wanted to start doing. So I switched size of bikes that I could put my camping stuff on the back.
Right on. So tell me, longest ride so far?
And one day, my husband thought Montana, work and Highway to the Sun and back in one day. It was about 12 hours.
That's a pretty good day worth of riding. And you?
My longest day has only been 7 hours, and to me that was my limit. I found that I still need to adjust some things on my bike, get my handlebars in the right spot so that my back doesn't hurt after that long. But when you're on the highway for that long of a time, the wind resistance will get to you.
And what about, when I talk about length of time, like, have you gone any long vacations on your motorcycle? Have you done any long distance traveling?
Not yet, but that's in the books. I am a stepmother to a 16-year-old, so as soon as she's out of high school and my husband and I have a little bit more time to ourselves, that is the plan, to be having a big trip every summer.
Right on.
And I'm really inspired. The Litas is in 25 different countries, and we've been contacted by some people when they're traveling to see if they can meet up, couch surf, and join rides with us. So I really want to start traveling the world and check out the chapters in different areas and see if I can rent a bike and ride through Europe or China or Australia.
That's neat. So 25 countries with the Litas. What does Lita actually stand for?
It doesn't actually mean anything. If you were to ask the original founder, Jessica, if you read her articles online, it was just a cool word that they came up with one day and it stuck.
Because I was thinking, something like ladies in training for service. Because, you guys do a lot of service work. I've been watching worldwide what's going on. And you've kind of slid in there on the women's end of things very, very quietly in North America.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's true.
Yeah.
On the Alberta-Saskatchewan border is a welcoming city that was recently crowned as Canada's most rider-friendly community of 2017, Lloydminster. From rider-friendly businesses to great events, Lloydminster, Canada's most rider-friendly community. Come experience it. The Spark Business Incubator is located in 214 Place and run by Community Futures Grand Prairie and Region. It can provide a new or expanding business with the supports to be successful. www.gpsparkincubator.ca. That's all our time for this week, folks. Join me next week as I interview more interesting young people to discover the future of motorcycling.